Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today is a very special video because we've hit 1,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to express my gratitude to all of you. Thank you so much for hitting this milestone. The words are words are difficult. I cannot fully express my gratitude for reaching this far. And a couple days ago, I said I would do a Q&A, because that's a thing you do when you hit 1,000 subscribers, right? You do like a Q&A, right? Right. So, today, I asked you to give me some questions, and today, I'm going to give you some answers. So let's start off right away. So, one Katakana said, sorry if I butcher any of your guys' usernames, but they asked, if you could change something about the plot/characters, what/who would you change? And what would be the rewritten version look like? Ooh, this is difficult. To Warrior Cats, obviously we are a very big, fanfic fandom. We like to rewrite things. What would I rewrite? Ooh, I don't know. Thing is, I do have a lot of issues with Warrior Cats in certain elements. I would say the one thing I would probably rewrite the most is the back half of Dawn of the Clans. There are certain elements of Dawn of the Clans that I really like. It is one of my favorite arcs. But I feel like One Eye, specifically, wasn't a villain for very long. He's only really a villain for one book, and then he just isn't a threat. And I feel like he would be a more effective villain if he was just the villain of the back half of Arc 5 of Dawn of the Clans. I feel like if Scratch's role was kind of somewhat morphed into what One Eye's was, at least in Book 6, and a little bit of Book 5, I think that could massively improve the back half of that arc. But, obviously, I think the back half is, it's okay. It could be better, but it could be worse. So then we have random underscore 110 asked, favorite villain. This is a tricky question, because the problem with Warrior Cats is that a lot of the villains come back a lot, and the incarnations they come back as are less interesting than that they originally were. So I often say my favorite villain is Mapleshade, in specifically Crooked Star's Promise, because I think her effectiveness as a villain was only really good in that book. Every time she was brought back, it just was less and less impactful. A similar thing happens with Soul. In the latter half of Power of 3, I think he is effective as he could have been in that scenario. Could he have been better? Yes. But then they brought him back, and it just makes him worse. So, it can't look at a villain overall, really. At least for me. But, yeah, there's that. Then we have Purple Tail Animation asked, how'd you get into Warriors, and how did you come up with the name Blue Blazing? Congrats on 100k, by the way. First off, thank you on the congrats. And thank you all for the congrats, by the way. I'll say that more. So how did I get into Warrior Cats? So, my best friend at the time, in 5th grade, he was reading one of the books. And I said, that looks cool. Can I borrow the book and read it? And he said, sure, you can borrow and read it. And so I just kept borrowing the books he was reading. And they were kind of out of order. I read book 1 of Arc 1. Then I read book 4. Then I read Midnight, Moonrise, and then Starlight and Twilight. So I read all the books out of order, kind of, which is a lot for the series. And I think overall, I just kind of liked the books because they had cats and they were fantasy, and I think they were of a pretty cool quality for someone of my age. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And the name Blue Blazing is a little embarrassing. So I was coming up with a Minecraft username, and originally I wanted to do Blue Blazing Comet. But it was too long, so I just went with Blue Blazing. And it's just what I stuck with. It's the username I use for pretty much everything, like games or Discord. It's just a thing I use all the time. And also, my favorite color is dark blue. So there's that. Which I know is a bit ironic, considering my character is neither blue nor on fire. Which is a bit ironic, but that's what happens. So then you have Canada Lynx 9 asked, who inspired you the most to make videos? Congrats on 100k, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Who inspired me? Here's the thing. I watch a lot of YouTube. So much YouTube. Honestly, more than I probably should. So there's a lot of different creators that over the years have kind of subtly influenced me in different ways. One of the ones I will say that's influenced me just in the way that I do my setup, just like how I present like on screen, like you see my character in this little room, that would be overly sarcastic productions, like the music, the kind of like style. That's kind of what I'm basing this portion on. Other YouTubers in like ways of their human stuff, there's just so many to really name. But at least one of the ones I can say that at least for now has inspired me is Overly Sarcastic Productions. Definitely look them up. They do some great history and myth videos that I think are really cool. Also, any of the Warrior Cats content creators, like, you know, Moon Kitty, Akira, Hawks, Sunnyfall, Oblixme, and any of the ones that you've watched, I have watched their content, and that kind of inspired me to make Warrior Cats content, because I think it's a niche part of the internet, and I think it'd be really cool to talk about my opinions and thoughts about certain topics. So yeah. Next we have hold on. We have Shadow Fox. Hi, Felix. How you doing? So, those who don't know, I met Felix on a Warrior Cats Discord server, and we've had as you can probably see by his their comment, very interesting discussions / debates. And so they ask, howdy Blue is your favorite person to debate with on that one server? Congrats, by the way. Thank you. Happy for ya. My question is, if you can remember, what was your favorite debate that you've had with someone about Warriors? Well, I've had many debates with you, Felix. One of the ones that I haven't just had this discussion with you, but it's about Dawn of the Clans. Specifically, whether or not it counts as Arc 5 or as a spin-off. We've had this discussion many times, and you're not the only person I've had this discussion with. Other people I've had this discussion with, and some of them share opinions similar to you, some of them share opinions similar to me. And I think that discussion's very interesting, because prequels are always in a weird position in most fantasy series, just of like what you should consider them. Like, should they consider them like main series, separate? Like, I think that's a very interesting discussion to be had, and I do really enjoy it, because especially since Dawn of the Clans is getting so much more recognition than it did like 5 years ago, or like when it came out. And even though we may have our differences in opinion about this topic, I still like that we get to talk about Dawn of the Clans. And yeah, so there's that. Next one. Puffy Puzzled asked, who's your favorite villain in Warriors? And then congrats on 100k, you deserve it. Thank you so much. So favorite villain. Well, I actually answered this earlier, and that would be Maple Shade. Again, I think Maple Shade's really good in that one book, but not really in others. Soul is also a good villain in my opinion, but I think there are just certain elements I think that other series that I have read or been a part of, I think they do the Soul character better. And I really wish that Soul died in book 5 of Omen of the Stars. I think that spot specifically was written to kill him, but then they kept him alive just to potentially bring him back. And it's been like, what, over a decade, and we have not seen the return of Soul? Which is a bit confusing. Like, for the new team, I know it's a new team that does Warrior Cats. The fact they haven't brought back Soul, but they brought back Ashfur, is really strange to me. Like, just, it's really bizarre that that's what the choice they made. But yeah, that's my answer to that. Then we have Sky Sight Warriors with a bit of a long one. Congrats, I remember you saw the blue and gray avatar lol. Yes, I did have that. As for my question, I don't think you've covered this before, but what's your favorite book in the entire series? Can be main series, super edition, whatever. Also, do you play any Warrior Cats related games? So favorite book, I would have to say Crooked Star's Promise. I really like Crooked Star's Promise as a book. I think the idea of taking a character who basically had no character and making an amazing book around him is phenomenal. I like the villain, I like Crooked Star's journey, I like all the supporting characters. I like the way it's written. I just really like the book. I don't really know how to put in words until like I reread the book for a video, but I just really like Crooked Star's Promise. I would definitely say it's one of my favorite books. And Tall Star is definitely up there, and I wonder, I haven't reread Tall Star in a while, but I wonder if I reread Tall Star, if it would topple Crooked Star as my favorite. But I don't know, we'll see. And as for games, so I have played some of the old Flash games that were on the website, but, you know, that's not really super exciting. What I think you're specifically asking for is, has I played Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition. And I have, but I don't like it. My biggest problem with Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition is the fact I don't really think it's a game. At best, it is a demo for a potential game. And I just think there are certain elements that are very lacking. Now keep in mind, I did play it before the hunting update, so it's possible it did add something, but I really hope that one day we get like a official, actual game about Warrior Cats. And I know WCUE is an official product, in so much that they kind of like allow it to exist. But like an actual developed game, like, can you imagine if we got a Warrior Cats games, like in like the style of like Baldur's Gate 3, like kind of like the tabletop RPG kind of element? I don't know, I think that'd be really cool. And then also, I have played some Warrior Cats Minecraft servers. I'm not really going to name them because, for reasons, but I do enjoy for what they provide. Either they are Warrior Cats inspires or Warrior Cats specific. I think people who use Minecraft as an avenue to play with warriors, I think that is really cool and really nice. And so yeah, there's the answer to that question. The legendary cake, which, is there any cake that isn't legendary? So, Aztec, congratulations, I found your channel recently and made Warrior Cats content, by the way. Thank you. Now for my question. You think the books that should have a protagonist that slowly becomes the antagonist in the next arc? So like arc 9, I guess. For example, a cat with a personality of Firestar slowly becoming more like Broken Star or Clear Sky. So like, you think like a tragic downfall, essentially, like a hero becomes a villain. I think that would be incredibly interesting. I don't think they're ever going to do it, like at least main series. Technically we have got this. Like if you really stretch the definition of hero to villain, you could say that One Star and Leopard Star kind of had this in their super editions. I don't think at least it was the full intention to say they were villains, but they kind of were. At least in Leopard Star's case, she was full on a villain. One Star was just kind of an asshole, so I don't really know if that counts. But I think overall, I would enjoy that kind of story, but I would doubt Warriors, one, to do it, and also to do it well. Clear Sky is pretty much the only example of they've actually done that with a protagonist, but we only really saw him as a protagonist when he wasn't evil. Like, yeah, we had him in Book 3, the first battle, but that was very minimal. But I would enjoy it. I would absolutely want that to happen. But I don't think they ever are going to do it for just, I don't think that they're capable of really doing something like that. But you never know. Arc 9 could surprise us. But I will have to see what happens. We are finding out this year what's going to be about Arc 9. Like 100%. That's usually how Warrior Cats arcs are revealed. So I am interested to see what becomes of it. So, you never know. You never know. So then we have, how do I say this? Little sorry, I don't know how Little Jis? I don't know. Something like that. Sorry if I butchered your name. Yeah. So what character do you hate the most and why? My most hated character is Thunder. I hate Thunder. I loved all the clans, but I really hate Thunder. Purely for the fact that, in my opinion, he is just Lion Blaze, but again, he's not better than Lion Blaze. He's not even worse than Lion Blaze. He's just Lion Blaze, but again. I know he's different. I know he has different stuff going on, but I just hate Thunder. I think there could have been a lot more they could have done with him, but he's so boring and so generic. Like, his uncle, Grey Wing, and his father, Clear Sky, are way more interesting protagonists than he is. Way more interesting. Also, it's funny that ThunderClan's whole existence, because he's ThunderClan's founder, ThunderClan only becomes a clan out of spite. Like, the only reason ThunderClan happens is because Thunder has a disagreement with his father about how he leads, and as like a petty little child, he's like, fine, I'll go do it on my own, and it'll be better and cooler, and we'll have ice cream. It's just, why? I mean, it's funny. It's funny that ThunderClan's origin is so underwhelming and just absolutely ridiculous, but you could have done a lot more with Thunder. Just way more. But they didn't. Oh well. Also, side note, he has the worst, absolute worst novella, in my opinion. Just the absolute worst. I know Spotted Leafs exists, and I know Maple Shade has a lot of controversy around it, but I just think his is way worse, because there was no point for giving him a novella. And his novella is so bland. Like, why did that happen? Why? Anyway, next question. So the legendary JoJo, hello. Who is your favorite warrior cat? Mine is Crooked Star. Crooked Star is a very good character, and even though he is one of my favorite super editions, my favorite character is Greywing. I really like Greywing as a character. I think his whole deal is amazing. I think, like, The Sun Trail is one of my favorite books, just because it's a single protagonist. And I like Greywing because he is very intelligent, but, like, not to a point where it's annoying. Like, he's similar to Firestar in the fact that he clearly is very smart, and he knows what he's doing. He makes mistakes, and he also has this, like, incredible dynamic with his brother, which I think is very unique for warrior cats. Like, the only brother dynamic we've really had is Brambleclaw and Hawkfrost, which was underwhelming in my opinion. Lionblaze and Jayfeather, which in my opinion they also never really focused on the fact they were brothers, just siblings, so that's a bit annoying in my opinion. But then you have this one where they actually feel like brothers, like they're a dichotomy of like there's like different personalities and different like methodologies and different ways they see the world, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, Greywing is my favorite. My second favorite is Jayfeather because I'm very boring. My third favorite is probably Hawkfrost. Not Hawkfrost, Hawkwing. There's so many Hawks in this series, but Hawkwing. So there you go. Then you have Tarts and Stuff. Lovely name. What is one part of Warrior Cat's plot in which you want to change the most? And Kratz 1K, and then your content is amazing. Honestly, your content is amazing. Hope you continue to grow and reach more people. Thank you so much. One part I would change the most. That's a good question. There's so much stuff in Warrior Cats. I mean, I'm not really into the fict or like the alternate paths, but just because I mentioned earlier, I would say the one part I would change the most, just because I don't think it has any lasting consequences, is that in book 5 of Omen of the Stars, you kill Soul. Because nothing will... If you kill Soul, there's no consequences. Because Soul hasn't come back in over 10 years. Like, Soul has been absent from Warrior Cats for so long that killing him has no consequence. There's absolutely no consequences for killing Soul. Yet they leave him alive so he can come back. But he hasn't come back. Like, Soul has not come back in so long. What is the point anymore? Or, at least in Ashfur's defense, with bringing Ashfur back, they're really... Okay, I'll be honest, there isn't really a defense for bringing Ashfur back. I just think the team didn't really know what to do for a villain, and they knew Ashfur technically wasn't a villain. Like, he's a villain, but he wasn't, like, a main villain. He was, like, a side villain. Like, I wouldn't even... Calling a villain's kind of rough in Arc 3. Yeah, it's just kind of a lot. But I think the reason they brought him back was just to also kind of, like, deal with complaints about him being in StarClan. So they wanted to fix that, which I don't think is an inherently wrong decision. But yeah, I think killing Soul would be the... It doesn't change anything. Like I said, it doesn't change a single thing. Kill Soul and deal with it. Also, if they ever do decide to bring Soul back, they have to kill him. Like, there's no way you let Soul live a third time. There's no way you'd let that happen. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. And that about covers it. That's all the questions that I have available to me. So, yeah, if I missed your question, I'm so sorry. And if you want to have any additional questions, leave it in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them. But, you know, I might not get around to it because life stuff happens. But anyway, what do you think? Did you agree with my answers? Did you not agree with my answers? Or did you have a different opinion? Let me know down below, and we can continue this conversation. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a nice day. Thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers.